Are we going to have a being? We're having a being. We're live. It is the website one KickOff, as we now call it. KickOff. Soccer. Woo! So, somewhere here, in the teeming metropolis, let's put it up over there, we have, do I have it here? That's Constitution, AgileVentures Vision. No, that's not it. Off. Okay. There we go. Right. We have this retrospective document, which we will now need to update because we have two Michael. Michael, who is here and is known as Michael and not Mike, do feel free to edit this in real time with your thoughts. The kickoff format we do is we just try to review. We do an asynchronous retrospective, which is like in this format that I've picked up from Makers Academy, which is like reviewing any previous action items, any struggles, successes, and suggestions. Try not to spend more than 15 minutes on this, and then sort of review, and then move to reviewing the board. So, just reviewing the action items. I think I did do this. I publicized it earlier in the week, and I pinned it to the
website one channel.
Yes. So, did you feel it was suitably visible earlier in the week?
It was just that with me moving, I didn't get time to do anything.
No worries. Okay, but you've done it now, so that's it's all good. Now,
yeah,
the other Mike, he's still a busy week. He's not here. I don't know if he's investigated the Cloud9 option. That I actually spent a little bit of time investigating the Cloud9 option and started to do a website one install on Cloud9, and I stuck my notes from that in the issue, and I got stuck on the trying to get the Postgre thing working. So I think there's an avenue to look at there, but yeah. So our thing was release strategy. Basically, we did hold off for a week, didn't we? And I think actually we now have those elements. So
yeah, we did.
I have access to the Google Analytics. I haven't. It's looking interesting, and even within a month, we've got like a footful of like 2,000 people, or at least 2,000 people, 2,000 hits on the sign-up page. Which, I mean, I guess there's an action item possibly for me, but like, to use Google Analytics to direct our activities. We also have this French UX specialist who's doing a review, who's called Patrick, who's doing a review, and he says he's going to have a review of the website for us by Friday. So,
oh, cool.
We'll see. That's kind of interesting. Now,
when can I speak French with him?
And you can speak French, can you? Can you speak French?
Yeah, I can.
Oh, cool. Yeah,
yes.
Well, I'll try and get him. I'll try and get him in one of the meetings. I guess I'll just no pressure. But if you are interested, we are having our weekly meeting. Now, if you want to meet other team members, just let them know. Okay. He was actually the guy. He applied for the Do It AgileVentures advert. So I think actually this action item, that's all done. You've got and you've got air brake in place, and you totally kicked that one out of the park, haven't you? The other one was like giving you access to coveralls and investigate it. I think that so for some reason, although you got the full privileges as far as we can see in website, you're one of the. If we look at the AgileVentures team, you have like core as Michael does as well, or this is Michael here. Look at the team. We've got like the core team, which you are in, aren't you? There. And as far as I can tell, that means that you. I don't know who that is. Do you know who that is?
Who is that? No.
Do you know who that is? That's weird. Who's that?
Deep Core King.
Ah, David
It
Corking.
was
David Corking. All right.
He changed his name. He changed his GitHub username. Wasn't it
As
D Corking before?
yeah, I thought so.
Huh.
Oh, that's David Corking. I don't know
That's
who this
not
is.
Corking. Who was that?
I don't know. I'm going to ask Thomas.
it says Hawaii DO. He
What's his
contributed to the
Oh,
Hawaiian
okay. That's another Thomas. Okay, if this is his one. Yeah. Okay. Right. Interesting. I didn't realize we could make him into
other
a
Thomas.
chord. That's the other Thomas. Who's in Hawaii. Okay. But yeah, anyway, as far as I can see,
Yeah.
there, you have as much permissions. Like this team has. I don't know if I can see if this team has admin. It's core legacy admin team. Settings. The team is secret. I don't know if there's something in here. Is there like a promote? There's a promote to team maintainer. Oh, okay. Maybe I should do this.
Looks like they probably upgraded something on GitHub.
Okay. Well, there's also like migrating the team there. Okay. So yeah, look. So we've got there. Some people somehow have ownership. So it looks like you do have a different category in here. Anyway, maybe try. How can we turn you into an owner? That's weird. Anyway, I guess we shouldn't spend any more time on this. But I think we've at least identified that there is some difference here, and that probably reflects. Yeah. I guess I will ask Thomas. Can we make an owner here? I can't do that. Anyway, okay. Enough on that. That was last week's action. So struggles this week. Yep, that was
Can
a
you guys
struggle.
hear me?
I can hear you fine. Yeah, can you hear me?
Okay, cool.
Yeah. So my main struggle was getting distracted by other work. Although ultimately, we have managed to get, with Michael's help, managed to get the things done that need to be done. So successes, some progress on the documentation. I imagine you probably didn't have a chance to look at the documentation pull request, Raul.
No, not yet.
No, not to worry. Not to worry. That's low priority in the scheme of things. Although good to get that pulled in, I think. So we've got new events index. Tony's been making some progress on cleaning up the unspoken cucumber logs, which is great. So Raul, you've submitted a new pull request.
This morning. I did.
Excellent. Yes. Did I not? I saw that already. Oh, okay. Cool. Yes. I'll review that in a minute. Yes, and successes getting small 101 AB. Yay! Okay, so then we have. I guess I'll just ask Michael. Anything to add to struggles and successes at all?
Nope.
So just some suggestions. I wonder, should we be trying for only green commits and squashing multiple commit messages? Do people have feelings about that one way or the other?
That's standard practice.
We
don't do that, and we haven't done that in AV very much.
No.
But people do that.
They do that, yes. And sorry, say again?
I said they rebase like that. Yeah.
They do. And this is one of the things that I'm thinking about. I mean, I should. Raul, I guess you. Well, I know you've been really, really busy, so it's totally no biggie. A week ago, I shared that document, which was like the AgileVentures vision thing for Website 1 and AgileVentures. I imagine you probably didn't get a chance to look at that.
For some reason, the thing is breaking a little bit on my side here. I don't know.
Sound is breaking. You're having difficulty hearing me.
Yeah.
I'm just going to put this.
Network.
For MTC. Raul, can you hear us okay?
I seem to have some breaks in my connection here. I don't know why.
Are you on a? You just had a new You just had a new connection installed.
Yeah, it's looks like it's not stable for some reason.
I can hear you just fine at the moment.
Okay, the thing is, sometimes it works fine, and then like a few minutes later on, it starts breaking down again.
Okay. Yeah. Thomas was just suggesting to me. Well, I guess we'll just carry on, and you can watch the recording later, or.
Yeah, I think we can just do that if.
Yeah. What I will just do is follow through Thomas's suggestion, which is that I want to get the team members. Apparently, he's suggesting that the thing to do is to remove you from the team and then add you to the team again. No, that doesn't seem to work. How do people become... I guess maybe do we have to migrate the team? Okay, well, I'm going to add that as an action item for me, which is like... Oh, well, let's put it in here. So action item, Sam, investigate converting Raoul to owner. Okay. So anyway, the key thing on just on this thing about the green commits is, you know, in the past, Website One was explicitly a learning project where, you know, it was in the AgileVenture pantheon of projects for lots of people to learn stuff, and there's I'm making a push to say now, like, it needs to be more than a learning project. We need to maybe hold ourselves to slightly higher engineering standards and usability standards in order for it to support all of the other learning projects. And that's sort of one of the things I was writing in that vision document, which some people have seen previously, and I just shared with Michael. So I'm thinking, you know, this is a good thing to do. I think it's the kind of thing that would probably make things harder for people like Tony Butler, who's trying to come in and get involved. But so yeah, Michael, how do I guess you'd be happy to follow this as a guideline?
Yeah, I guess. I mean,
Well, you're not too worried either way. It's like, you know, whatever.
I think that you would have to make sure that people knew how to add other authors or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Because then people would get people's individual commitments would not even be noticeable.
Mm-hmm. That's a good point. Raoul, any thoughts on this? We lost you, Raoul. I guess we've lost Raoul. Well, let's move on. So one of the things Thomas mentioned during the week was I sort of reformed it to this question. He was asking me, what's the process for voting on stories that we're doing in Website One, and what's the criteria for I guess we'll catch Raoul later. Yes, you can switch on. So, you know, one of the things that we've done in the projects, you know, and I've been rigorous in local support, is trying to avoid starting work on stories that haven't been voted on, and so on. To be honest, I kind of I think that the voting on stories has been an interesting thing for you know, AgileVentures to be doing. I'm not sure. I'm not sure how. Let me turn this off. I'm not sure how critical it is now in this project. Do you have, Michael, any feelings like strongly one way or the other?
For voting in website 1?
Yeah, going forward. I mean, what we've got is a situation. So we've moved to Waffle, which allows you to start stories without you don't have to vote on them. Whereas Pivotal's much more structured. You can't click start on a story. Oh, can you? No, maybe you can. Yeah. Anyway, certainly Waffle doesn't enforce. I don't know. I think people have. If you've got a Pivotal tracker, it's going to look at an unvoted for story. Boom, 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 boom. We've got Icebox there. Here's an unvoted story. Yeah, no, you can actually. You can click start on unestimated. So yeah. Anyway, but so there's no yeah. But certainly in local support, the way I ran it and continue to run it, and the way I think Thomas ran and subsequently Brian ran website 1 was, kind of trying to enforce a social convention that you shouldn't click start until you had voted on a story.
Right. So.
And I mean, so we've got here, like, for example, Raul has been working on the Pivotal Tracker URL validator bug, and we haven't voted on the. We can set a size in Waffle, but we haven't done so. And I think Thomas was asking the question, should we be encouraging people to, not start work on things until we have voted on their sizes?
Probably. I mean, are you guys using it to predict when projects are gonna?
Well, we could be. I mean, I think that there are metrics that you can get out of Waffle to tell you about this. I mean, Waffle doesn't do the thing that Pivotal does, which is like put these predictive dates in. But so, I mean, personally, the way that I've been working in Waffle at Makers Academy is just, I don't know, the process of voting on things sort of seemed to fall by the wayside. I don't know. In the past, I might have said, oh yes, we must absolutely vote on things. Right now, I don't feel like it's necessarily so important, but I'm open to the idea. Michael, you seem to be erring on the side of, yeah, we probably should vote on things.
I mean, like, voting could bring out different expectations of what a story entails.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I mean, and people theoretically use it to predict delivery dates, but I don't know how much value that actually has.
Because voting can help bring up ideas. Absolutely help with prediction. I mean, yeah. What my experience on local support is, I think in an open source volunteer-based project is the kind of prediction thing is like, it's a nice idea, but it's not. There's too much noise for it really to work effectively. I definitely agree with you that the voting can bring out different ideas. Yeah, Raul, if you want to contribute to the discussion, I think absolutely do make comments in there as you have done there. Just jumping back to the previous one on green commits, I think that the we would be encouraging the developers to squash their commits, but the reality is that the project maintainers might have to do it and give them help and support. Or some people will lose commits. In there, Sam. Yeah, so like some developers would need help on maintaining. Right? Would need help. Okay. Raul, do you have strong feelings on voting on things or not?
Not so much. Well, again, we got used to doing that previously with Pivotal Tracker, where we would have estimation and all that. Yeah. But now with Waffle, I'm not too sure how that works. And plus, the thing is, right now, we don't have too many people contributing to code. And like this issue that I created this morning was an issue related to a small bug that I was fixing while working on a bigger issue. You know, if we had to like vote on it before I could submit my pull request, you know, that will definitely slow us down in a way, you know, to moving with this. I don't mind voting on stories and all.
Yeah.
Just like right now, it could slow us down, like really.
Yeah. And
I mean, it's only you and Tony and Mike that are currently working on this project at the moment. There's not a big team working. Perhaps if we had a bigger team and then we had like multiple meetings during the week, then we could have things like, you know, during the dev meetings we could probably vote on some new stories and so on and assign them to people.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that all makes a lot of sense. I'm just going to put a little note to myself here, which is like reflect back the discussion and suggestions. I think what I might suggest is that maybe we do some voting just now in the last part of the meeting to kind of as we review the board, so we can see how it could work in Waffle, and that we take some more passes around on this. Tony was, I think, expressing some of the same concerns as you to me. He's also made the suggestion is like focus on improving the user journey for new members looking for a project to work on, making it easier to find projects they're interested in. I think that's an excellent suggestion. By the way, we've got. I sort of took over. I found there was an AgileVentures old repo. I've migrated some of the issues that we had in website 1 that are more generic to AgileVentures as a whole. We've moved over here. So in particular, Tony Butler's got this like, oh, should there be like a starter pack for a project? And yeah, he's this idea of like mentors for new members and helping people get involved. So what I would say is, feel free to have a look at those things. I'll just put all check out there, and so maybe we can wrap up the retro portion. What I would say, let's jump to just reviewing the board. So, for example, we've got the pivotal tracker URL validated bug there is in the please check. Did I have that up already? Yes. So, yeah, that looks fairly straightforward. You're reasonably happy with this, are you?
Yeah, well, the test of passing, you know. So
yeah,
all I did was update
the regex,
the regex to match the S or the N from the URL. Yeah.
Right, and so you've added a scenario here that deals with an N one.
With an N one, yeah. There was already one that deals with the S.
Right, and there, yes.
Yeah.
Okay, interesting. Yeah, yeah. So that certainly looks. I mean, I guess due diligence, I might run it and check it locally and so on. But what we could do now, what we've done in website 1 and in local support before, when people have worked on a story and it hasn't been voted on, and if the person has then finished it, what we do is we say, well, okay, you worked on it. How complicated was it? Was it a 1, 2, or a 3?
A 1.
There we go. So we can make that a 1. So then if we have a look at this, so we've got this schedule the GitHub counts thing. That's there. We put this in as a 1. I set the schedule up. We have the issue that I think it's failing. We're getting that error from Airbreak. I think if we now merge this events index page revision, then in principle we can push out the new code with the better logging and see if that fixes it. Would you agree, Raul?
Yeah, sure. Because as far as the scheduler is concerned, it seems to be working.
Yeah,
now the issue is
with the GitHub.
Yeah. So now the issue is with the code itself.
Yeah, the task that's running. So the other thing that's here, and please check. So you'd already signed off on our the events thing. What I might, if you've got a moment, you might look over what we've added in here, Michael and I today, is just, and I show you here. Yeah, we just updated the date formatting on the show page to match what we have on the events page.
Yeah, that's fine.
So if you just want to give
So you remove the helper method that was displaying the started and starts.
We haven't removed the helper methods, so that's a good comment here. There's almost like another little round of checks that could be done. I guess we could almost, if we're anyway, that was these changes. It could be that we're also there's an argument for we should be cleaning up the, make new helper methods based upon we kind of, what Michael and I did, we sort of pulled everything into the view, and they could be extracted out into helper methods again. I have mixed feelings about that. But so, I mean, I think if you're happy to merge this, then feel free to do that. If you want, if you'd like me to make a few changes, push it back to me.
Okay.
But I get, in principle, once this is merged, we can do a deploy, and we'll get the all the the 2 or 3 features and issues from the last week out onto the production server.
So what I'm tempted to suggest is maybe we make the cleanup a separate issue.
Yes, I think that could be a further refactoring thing. I like that.
Okay.
So, and I think I will just do an executive thing to say that ended up being, I anticipated that it was going to be much more complex. Between help from Mike and Michael, I think that was a 2. So we'll, just put a vote in there. Okay, so that's, and then this one, right, is the bug that's kind of related to the GitHub thing not running properly. So that's our quality assurance column being taken care of there. And we've just made sure that the things have been voted on. So we've got some other things that are in progress there. Tony's working on clearing out the stuff. We've got this documentation thing. Which is a big job, because there's like lots of stuff. I'm gonna I think that the action item for there is for me to somehow break that up into subtasks, because we can't. We need to sort of be able to work on them and merge them independently. Sam, split documentation into multiple tasks. Okay. Yeah, Raoul, if you want to create that, refactor to templates task in the background, that would be handy. So yeah, you're Raoul, you're blocked on the setup test coverage on pull requests thing.
Yeah.
We've got Michael there. There's Mike rather working on the allow users to create events in their own time zone. That was voted on as being a 2. He's also got an investigate smoothing the onboarding process. I mean, some of these things, I guess, are in principle they're chores that we don't need to vote on. And this is in the bigger one here for accepting more stuff.
Yeah.
So, and these arguably are chores. So, I guess in the interest of voting, I mean, this is something that you might be planning to work on next, right, Raoul?
Correct. Yep.
So we could we could do a vote on this one, because you basically got your bug fix in here, and then this is a bigger feature.
Yeah.
So we could just do a quick vote on this. Should we do that?
Sure. So my question about that this morning was whether to add a separate field for that, or just try and consolidate into one field for project management stuff.
Yeah, I think it's an interesting question, and I think I'd be very interested to hear Michael's thoughts about this, in that we've kind of got, the project itself, we've got this specific pivotal tracker link. So one way to go would be to just change this to, project management link, and just allow people to put whatever they want in there, right? That's fairly straightforward. Raoul was pointing out that we have this activity panel that pulls out, latest events from Pivotal Tracker, which will that will then not work if there's not a pivotal link in there. I guess that's right, isn't it, Raoul?
Yeah. The other issue I have with that is because I'm not so familiar with the code base on that portion, I'm not sure how long it will take me to actually go through it and understand like what would break if I, check out that field or something.
Sure. Yeah. Michael, any thoughts on this?
No, not at all.
No. I mean, we have had a debate before about, whether we should be encouraging everyone to use the same sort of tracker. I mean, there was a point of contention about Jira with the Osra project and so on in the past. Something that I have realized, and partly as a result of Thomas explaining it to me in more detail, is that I think his vision of Website 1 was to make it kind of like a complete collaborative platform that would do everything that you needed to do. And so it's like your one-stop shop for your whole project thing. And I think that's kind of it was different from what I was imagining. In as much as, although this is kind of cool, I worry that most people just don't see this, and we've got that activity view is kind of available in Pivotal. Do you know what I mean? And we also get the Pivotal stuff coming in through the Slack as well. And so I think given our limited resources, it's difficult to argue for, in my mind, I mean, I might be completely wrong about this, it seems like this feature, although interesting, is not necessarily helping us very much in terms of our goals for Website 1. So a simple thing might be just to remove this feature. Does either of you feel strongly either way about that?
I've personally never used it.
No, I mean, I looked at it and thought, oh, that's kind of cool. But yeah, I don't think I ever used it in this context.
I mean, do we have any way of knowing whether people actually use it?
Well, that's an interesting question here. I mean, it is kind of like on this tab thing. The interesting question there would be Google Analytics. Can we see whether people have actually viewed that page? Oh, that's the wrong thing. But so I think, rather than doing that now, I think I'll turn that into an action item for me. For can GA tell us how many people? Just to ask. I mean, the other thing is that it seems to me that even if we didn't switch it off, we could just, if we allow, excuse me, I've run out of bottles of water. Added an extra bottle of water. And I want to edit the project again. Come back. Project actions, edit project details. Is that we could just allow it to break gracefully. Do you know what I mean? Like in a situation where someone has typed in something else and then it's into a waffle or a Jira or what have you, we would just clearly some error would be generated when it tried to get the activity thing, or it would just if we just wrap that, then that activity thing would not work for that thing. And then, but maybe somebody in the future would want to oh, I want to see my Jira thing in there. And presumably there's different APIs that could be used. Do you know what I mean? Does that make sense?
Sure.
Yeah.
And the other alternative seems to be that we leave it in there, the pivotal track link stays, but you're not required to fill it in, and then there's an other fields, although that makes the form longer and more complicated. So there's kind of, we've got one which is add additional tracker field. We've got do existing.
So when you add a pivotal tracker link, right?
Yeah.
That little panel that you were showing.
Yeah.
Brings up the latest activity or whatever.
Exactly.
So it knows how to communicate with PT's API.
It does, yeah.
Well,
go on.
it just, yeah, like you were saying, you can make it fail gracefully and just show, like, a message that says,
yeah,
we don't know how to say, like, no activity recorded, or
yeah,
we don't know how to,
or we don't support, you know, activity tracking for this, you know, feel free to get involved. And so it feels like these are the three options. Would you agree, Raoul, that these are the three options associated with this ticket? Yeah, I mean, the kind of, it feels like it's, I'm leaning towards 2 or 3. What about you, Raoul?
Well, making it fail gracefully, we can just, like, that means we'll just have to change the validator to accept other links.
Yes.
And then internally on the activity feed, we can just, like, check which kind of link we're receiving there and decide whether or not to pull stuff or show a message. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And I guess we don't necessarily have to make a decision on this now, or even necessarily vote on this, in to the extent that we haven't necessarily decided on these things. I am kind of torn between these two, in as much as I kind of feel like my intuition is that we should be trying to, where possible, remove features from website 1, much as, you know, I may continue to get Thomas's ire from that, but it's kind of, you know, I think there's a cost associated from features that don't get used. Do you know what I mean? Like, they serve to mean that there's more going on in the interface, and that's potentially you know, to our detriment. I don't know, but yeah, I guess we've definitely got the certainly I should see if the GA can tell us. I mean, if we find that lots of people are looking at it, then that's a different story, isn't it? So I'll just put in there also. But I guess actually, either which way, we could go ahead and do the vote, because either which way of these different approaches. Can we do a vote here with these 3 different approaches?
Sure.
Yeah, like about, because they don't seem so different in terms of complexity to me. Shall we then go to the Slack environment and type in our expectation of 1, 2, or 3, and I'll count down 3, 2, 1, and we will. If I don't accidentally turn my computer off, for crying out loud. 3. Come on, computer. 2, 1, go. My computer's gone to sleep. Okay, so Raoul, you're on a 3. Do you want to say why you think it's 3 rather than a 2?
Well, 3 mainly because I'm not too familiar with most of that code.
Okay.
It might take me more time to, like, you know, get my head around what's happening, and yeah.
Sure. Yes, and particularly given that you're the person who's assigned to it, then I'd be happy to go with a 3. Michael?
I'll go with a 3 too.
Yeah. Okay. So that
sounds reasonable.
Okay. No, I've had this, like, my laptop has kind of gone to. It's like it's had its screen go to sleep, but the other plugged-in monitors are working. What is going on there? Anyway, all right. So we've done everything. We've looked at everything in the in progress column. I've got about 5 more minutes left. I guess we could just try and take a pass through the. Oh, I think I lost the screen share there.
Are you intending to show us you're sitting in the room, or you want to share your screen?
So, yeah, I think that was just plugging and unplugging some different screens, and yeah, whoa, weirdy. Okay. Yeah, so we could just try and take a pass through this, the ready column there. So, and possibly, we've got, I kind of identified it as, well, the intermittent JS failure, something Michael and I were looking at. I think that's kind of a chore rather than a feature, isn't it? There's a bug there. I guess anything that's a bug, actually, in Pivotal by default, we don't assign points to a bug.
Also
no, you don't assign points.
I mean, you can set up Pivotal so that it allows you to assign points to
but by default you don't.
But by default it's not. So I guess in terms of having our stuff voted on, I can just see two things here. There's this change here to the channel type. That's actually an Agile bot issue, I think. But maybe, I mean, this is on like the ability to connect the scheduled events to a project, which I think is actually quite important. Maybe if we can.
So that's the one I started investigating this morning.
Oh, this one. Did you start investigating it?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Cool. Okay. Yes. Do you want to tell us more about what you found out then?
Essentially, we just looking at like adding an extra field on the event page to like select the projects
Yes.
to which the
Exactly.
event is associated.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So we would have for here, as well as like in here we'd have like under description or possibly under category we'd have
So
associated.
perhaps under category, yeah, we have
like
project.
Associated project. Yes. Yes. Exactly.
Yeah.
Does this make sense to you, Michael? What we're talking about?
Yes.
Cool. So anything else that you found out about it, Raoul, that's relevant?
Well, I was just going through the models and like we have an event model that has many event instances, and that's where the project ID is kind of like the project ID are bound to event instances, as far as I could tell this morning.
Oh, the project instance already has. If we look at the models, so event instance already has. Oh, it belongs to a project. Okay.
Yeah.
But the events.
The event has many of those. No.
Has many event instances. Yes. Okay.
So. Yeah. Don't know if we should add the project there or perhaps like have them linked to an instance or something.
Interesting. I guess we've got a situation where if you start an event instance, an event from the project page, it doesn't have one of these events associated with it.
Not so sure, but I'm not entirely sure how that works at the moment. I was still like investigating all of that at this point.
Yeah. So certainly it would seem not unreasonable for an event here to have an associated project. At least as an option.
Yeah.
That when someone creates it. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yes. So are we ready to vote on this one?
Sure.
So voting on. Okay. So if you have your vote in the window, I'll count down 3, 2, 1, go.
Sorry.
That's right. Okay. Okay. So I'm out. I'm now the odd one out. I guess my reasons for making this a 3 is that it seems to involve a database change. I was just anticipating that maybe there will be some sort of conflict between the event and the event instance thing, but certainly in the it could be as simple as a 2 if it all goes well. So I'm happy to go for a 2 if that's what you guys are thinking.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Let's put a 2 in. Cool. Okay. So that's on. Okay. Okay, so we're kind of we're done there. I mean, oh, the computer, come on. I think this is something to do with like a cable on. Yeah, anyway. So yeah, there we go. Is it still? And I've lost the screen share again as a result. Goodness me. This is very silly. Okay. Is that? Can you actually see? No, that's just not. That's just. What have I locked that onto? Good grief! Come on. Okay. Here we go. Sorry about this. So, well, I think we're out of time for the day. We've managed to review the retro and the board up to the ready. We haven't got, to the backlog, which I mean, I guess normally we might go for another 15 minutes, and we could be looking through the backlog and trying to find things to vote on. Any wrap-up feelings from you guys on, these kind of bigger picture things of how we're running the project in terms of, the level of rigor we need on story votings? Should we be doing more to try and prioritize the backlog, or are we kind of just okay ticking over as we are now?
Well, I think we're okay for now.
Yeah. Any thoughts, Michael?
No, I said I think we're. If you guys think it's all right, then.
Yeah. Well, we can maybe look at that in the next retro. About I think Thomas is concerned about a lack of clarity about how stories get voted on and when they can be started and so on, which is something I might try and write up some notes on. I'm going to go get on a train now and probably look further at these intermittent JavaScript failures myself.
Perhaps at the moment, since we can control the number of people that are working on a project, we can have people like saying in the channel, "I'm about to start working on this on the story. Is there an objection to that or something?" Like if that happens before the retro or something like that, we could have that way of communicating with people.
Yeah, and I think that's with a small number and kind of. I mean, I think what we're not doing is we're not aggressively trying to get lots of new people started and new people onboarded with this project. So I think we're kind of okay for the moment. Yeah, but we can review that going forward. Okay, cool. Well, I'm feeling good to.
I just had a question. How are we in terms of getting the UI kinks out of website 1 that you had mentioned? I mean, obviously we did a little work today, but
yeah. Well, what should be able to happen now is that
I'll merge in that pull request.
Is that Raoul merge this? Yeah, do create that refactoring ticket as well. Well, I might work on that on the train if I get time. Yeah, and so this I think addresses some of the issues with the events page, but I think there's still quite a lot of UI issues. We'll also hopefully on Friday be receiving this UX report from a independent third party. So I think that's going to be interesting to see what that person identifies as.
That was from your Do It volunteer ad, right?
Yeah, and he's he seems to have he's got sort of 15 years of experience with this, that, and the other. Oh my! Come on, screen share. We can actually go anyway. Yes. So I mean, yeah, he that'll be interesting to see. I mean, I think the real test, we have an opportunity here now in that there's going to be some more runs of the MOOC starting in May and so on. And what I'd really like to do is try and get it so that the experience of using AgileVentures to do pet programming from the MOOC is really smooth. So people can basically, they can create their Hangouts. It gets publicized in the GitHub rather than in our Slack, and just that people are quite successful in finding each other. It'd be wonderful if we could actually get some metrics on how successful they're doing it. I mean, I at the moment it's all a bit of a shot in the dark, but I think, that's the thing. If we can make AgileVentures, a clean, a pleasant experience for, a larger number of MOOC users, then I think, that will have the benefit of supporting the MOOC, which is something that we like to do anyway. And I think we may, I'm hoping that we would see a follow-on in more people wanting to stick around and continue working with AgileVentures, contribute to AgileVentures. We do have a trickle of people coming in now that the part 2 is finished. There's a trickle of new people coming in and so on. And I think the real test will be, can we improve the usability of AgileVentures sufficiently so that the next MOOC we see a much bigger increase in people coming in, if you know what I mean. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah, I wanted to know what you thought we could do to get that done.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, I think that the key, to identify.
My interest,
Go on.
my major interest with website 1 is getting it to a point where we can start to do data science with it.
Yes, absolutely.
I mean, that's my personal agenda, but
sure, and I like that agenda. Yes, well, I would say that the key thing is the events page, right? Because basically, what we're doing is in the MOOC. If we go to this one here, like in the MOOC, we basically have throughout now a thing to say. Is this the new one? Oh, is it going to point me to the? Yeah, go on. No, just give me a thing. I don't care which one. Is this going to be? Yeah, here we go. So we basically have, this. We've updated here. So in the past it was the G+ community, and now we're basically saying, look, AgileVentures parent community, come and do it with us. And we point people directly to this location and tell them to create a pair programming event, and then get started, and then like this. Yeah. So.
okay.
And at the moment we've got problems like, these people have created events from before. They've set them to be repeating until never. They never end. All this thing. It's like, so we've got kind of like junk events kind of cluttering it up with people who are probably not available at those times. What we've just, we're in the process of fixing here, which is, I think we're going to make much better use of space of this. But yes, I mean, this is the first round of changes on the event page. I think that there's probably a series of additional things in terms of the flow of the user in through here to then successfully getting hooked up and having a.
I mean, would we want things like to have aggressive pruning tasks, like tasks that run every day and say, hey, if your event like hasn't ran in like a week or has missed so many of its schedules.
For example, although I think a simpler one, and this, so what we could have is a URL here that you click on it, and so like if we have the project thing, like if we have like a URL here, there would be AgileVentures events new and like a question mark, or maybe we put it in there, but it specified the project and basically the duration of the pairing dates. You wouldn't have to set this repeats thing, or your only option would be to repeat it until the end of the course. I think what we want is a way of making it. We want to make it like trivially easy for MOOC users to create a pairing events.
Like a special events page for MOOC users.
Right. Or just have option. Right, a special events page, or just having some parameters on this link so that appropriate parameters are set automatically for them when they're coming in through the MOOC.
So it knows who they are. Yeah.
Yeah, and it just,
and we could use that to track them too.
Right, exactly, and just make sure also that they don't clutter up the other, the general channel on the Slack and so on. So that's the, and I think we've actually got, particularly with me on 100% on this, although I've got auto-graders and local support, and if you've got some time, Michael, we've got an opportunity here to make those changes so that when the people do the first assignment in the next round of the MOOC, and potentially there's like a couple of hundred people will be making pairing events, we could actually get a sizable amount of traffic and get if we can have that traffic not just be like kind of a once-off. I mean, we can see from the basic flow that during this is even part 2 of the MOOC, we've got like over 1,500 people landing on the sign-up page in a single month. I think that the thing that would make this really interesting is if we can, there's lots of people who will look at it. If we can make the experience good enough and smooth enough, then and increase by an order of magnitude the number of people who stick around, and then we can start to do things, like in analyzing who's pairing with who and all interesting sort of stuff.
Right. Mm-hmm. All right. Well. Yeah.
Cool. All right. Well, I better run for this meeting. Good kickoff, guys. I will catch up with you tomorrow. Yeah.
Sweet.
All right. Bye for now. Before I lose my voice.
Bye.
Take care.
Ciao.
Cheers.